Welcome to the second edition of World Cashew Convention. I am Chandana Shiv and I am from cashewinfo.com. Today with me I have Bina Bajaria from Guinea Bissau. Welcome to WCC, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ma'am, can you please tell me what you are into and your workplace?
I procure raw cashew nuts from Bissau.
So what according to you is quality of ASEAN now?
Well, Bissau has one of the best qualities in Africa, which has the highest quality is 55 outturn with around 215 nut count, which can, when the season's getting over almost, it can go as low as 47 outturn.
Right.
But that is the lowest.
Okay.
Usually you don't get any lower than that.
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Can you please elaborate about the anticipated crop size this year and also about the weather?
Well, we hope we'll get 200,000 tons, like we did almost that much last year. But this year the weather has not been very helpful, I believe. Even the flowering in some areas have begun, but apparently there seems to be sort of, a hot and cold weather in the mornings, and in the evenings it's pretty cold, and during the daytime it's very warm. So until and unless the month of April begins, mid-April, we will actually get a better picture of what's happening over there.
And
Right.
what is your idea about the whole concept of standardization of ASEAN?
Well, it depends country to country, but I think each country has its own way of standardizing, so we just leave it up to the entities themselves.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, we just have to sell whatever the cashew tree produces.
Right,
So
right.
you cannot sort of say that, okay, this is the only quality I want, then what are you going to do with the rest of the product, you see?
Right.
So you have to think well about that.
Correct, ma'am.
Yeah.
And as we know that cashew sector, it gives a lot to the Guinea-Bissau growth.
Right.
So how important is cashew for the country of Guinea-Bissau?
I believe the cashew is the only commodity which brings in foreign currency into the country, so it is very important. Unlike other countries which have, petroleum, oil and other products to rely on, for Guinea-Bissau, raw cashew nut is the only commodity.
And what are the challenges, according to you, that an ASEAN buyer has to face in Guinea-Bissau, and how do you tackle them?
There are many challenges, right from the village level right up to the export level. Village level, you're always tackling the fact that the RCN, once picked by the villagers, they don't put them immediately in the jute bags. In some cases, they do not dry the RCN, and they tend to put the product into the rice bags, which are polypropylene bags. So sometimes you tend to get wet, damaged cargo, so they need to be sensitized with that by the government. And eventually, when the crop is permitted to come into town, once the official government season begins, then you have the normal challenges of infrastructure and logistics and things like that. Even sometimes the government does not always have its taxation in place, and you're always waiting. You've got all this cargo in your warehouse and you cannot export because you're waiting for the taxation format. And the main thing is the export license. Getting the export license from the Commerce Department, that is again another big challenge which needs to be required to be seen at a government level.
Right.
And once you get that, then you have port congestion, so getting the containers out of port, and even after you get the containers, then you have to wait for the vessels to arrive. Vessels, you get about 2 vessels a week. Again, the port itself for the vessels to dock is another challenge. To put the containers on the vessels is a challenge, and if you're getting break bulk vessels to, if the break bulk is there and a container vessel arrives, the break bulk has to go back to sea, and for the containers to get, so Bissau is just full of challenges, believe me. At each level you have challenges.
Great. How do you tackle them, ma'am?
With patience.
With patience.
You cannot have a short temper. It has to be literally with patience.
And what do you think of the initiatives taken by Guinea-Bissau government to empower.
They are trying, I believe, and there are lots of other foreign aid entities which are trying. But as always, I believe with time and patience, it can be overcome.
Right.
Yeah, but they're going to have to put a little bit more effort.
You think that? What are the goals for 2016?
My goals, just to do good work and overcome all these challenges.
What do you think about WCC now?
I already gave my opinion. It was great. I mean, it was a great format to meet everybody under the same roof, and hopefully more delegates from the trading level from other countries which were missing. It would be nice to see them as well.
Yes.
And because I believe if they participate too, then they can also be aware of all these challenges in various countries.
Right. Thank you so much.